Welcome to Pardon the Penetration. I'm Jay.
And I'm T. Welcome back. Missed you. It's been a minute.
You know, you would see me if you wasn't trying to flex and decided to, go home for a wedding.
Sorry, Graham needed me.
This man got a little bit of juice and all of a sudden the gram needed him. Anyways, this week we're going to be talking about a Ottawa City treasurer transferring $130K of taxpayer money to email scammers. We're also going to talk about ex-CIA agent who turned into a spy for China.
Wow.
And then a leaked Microsoft email detailing the hellish workplace for women at Microsoft. And also the Samsung S10 fingerprint scanner getting hacked.
Well, this week I'll be talking about researchers found a way to manipulate CT scans and MRI scans to either remove or add cancerous modules. There was ethical hackers that conducted research at some UK universities and were able to hack their cyber defenses in about 2 hours. And then the company we love to talk about, Facebook, actually exposed 540 million records.
Who's we? Who does we love to talk about?
I'd
like to put this, on the record. Trent does the Facebook stories.
It just happens like that
will
sometimes.
not waste my time. Okay. So the first article I have is the Ottawa City treasurer transfers $130K of taxpayer funds to email fraudsters. So basically, the city's treasurer, she got an email from, she thought she received an email from the city manager.
So she got fished.
Pretty hard. So she thought the email came from the city manager. They requested funds to pay for like a city supplier that they had.
Okay.
Right. So she wired over the money, no problem. Then 5 days later, she gets another email saying, hey, we need to finish up this transaction. We need an additional X, Y, and Z.
Oh, wow.
Only thing is she was sitting in a meeting with the city manager when she got that email. So she waits for after the meeting. She reaches out to him and was like, hey, this email, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. So that's when they realized she fell for the phishing scam. So pretty much this is an example of like whaling, which is a phishing scam aimed towards like top executives of the company. So after the Ottawa City people, they started doing their own investigations, they were able to see that they were doing a whole bunch of stuff wrong, right?
I bet.
Like they had inadequate controls for wire transfer, clearly no least privilege. Up to 5 people working for the city can transfer up to 25 million.
25 million? That's a lot of money.
By themselves.
So no other check, no one else.
No. And lack of security awareness. So technically what she did the second time is what she should have did the first time, right?
Yeah.
She should have, reached out to city manager, but I get it, normal protocol, but if they had some sort of email flag, maybe that would have helped.
Could have.
But also, the same person requesting a wire transfer should not be able to do a wire transfer.
Yeah, it should be a process where she should initiate something, and then it has to be approved, and then it has to go through the
separations of duties. Yeah. Everybody knows that. So their security process was trash, and the U.S. Secret Service did say that some of the money could be recouped.
Oh, well, glad they can get some of it back. But if I was an Ottawa taxpayer, I would be kind of livid knowing that you guys have your security controls just thrown them out the window at this point.
Like, dang, I ain't even think of this first, man. All that taxpayer money I could have got back.
Come on, we don't promote that here. Well, since we're on the topic of overseas, Israel researchers, they found out that there were some vulnerabilities that existed in CT and MRI scans, and they decided that they wanted to make people more aware about it. So they actually created a malware that would exploit it by adding or removing cancerous modules from scans, and they went about it the correct way. They decided to test out some radiologists to see if they knew if they could spot what was going on, if they could spot the fake ones for the real ones. So the malware, would show malignant semen growths on the scans, and they set out a couple sets of fake or real scans, and they had tested them about it, and they found out that they were able to trick about at least 3 of them on the first scans completely, and they were able to trick them multiple times. So they tricked them. They went back and they told them, hey, we gave you guys these scans. They were altered. So we want to see if you guys can get it right now. And it's not just removing, it's also adding. So they went through, they found out that this time going around that they failed about 60% of the time, even though they already told them that some of these could be fake. That's very scary, knowing that someone could attack someone's health like that. Like, I know we always talk about PII, everything like that, but now you're playing with people's lives.
Well, Israel is not a part of the EU.
I'm not sure. No,
that's Middle East. So I guess they really don't have any regulations surrounding that now. But can you imagine me going to nursing school, being a doctor, just for you to try to play with me and test me like this?
Now can you spot reals and fakes? So it's not like, oh, is that really there? No, it's like, could you tell that we altered this?
That's tough, man. But that's the last thing I would think that you'd be able to manipulate.
Yeah.
But I'm actually glad that they actually did go through the research, and hopefully they'll go through some sort of hardening steps to lock it down.
Right.
All right. Well, speaking of overseas, an ex-CIA agent turned into a spy for China after being in $230K in debt.
Sheesh.
He got a LinkedIn message from a Chinese headhunter, for a job. So he is... the guy's name is Kevin Mallory, and he's actually 61, and he's looking to face up to life for his crime. He gave Chinese handlers highly classified information about American operatives who were due to travel to China.
Oh, yeah, so that's definitely life.
This is pretty much, a classic case of spy recruitment. And it's really, his motivation is because his money got funny.
Right.
So he's in $230K of debt. He used to work he was a CIA officer back in the 1990s. He even worked for the Defense Intelligence Agencies in the early 2000s. The last time he worked was 2010 to 2012 for the CIA. But he got let go after disclosing classified information incorrectly.
Clearance probably got revoked with that as well.
Yes, they took it after that. So he didn't have a steady job after that. So It's kind of like, I'm $230K in debt. This is a Chinese headhunter. When you kind of in a bind, money funny. And he turned to betrayal.
Yeah, he did. And that's one of the things that I think they look at. Like, even when they're doing, I know his background, his clearance got revoked, but that's one of the things that they look at when they're issuing these clearances. Well, how much do you have in debt? Could you be a target for this? Well, it doesn't happen overnight.
So I'm going to assume he acclimated all of this debt when he was a CIA agent. Because I'm like, if he was a CIA agent since the 1990s, he definitely was guapped up. So he was making good money. And then his clearance got revoked, so money started getting funny.
Right.
But I thought, like, with them doing the clearance checks and stuff like that they do like psychological tests to see if you could be easily swayed or you betray.
I think it's more of references that they have from other people and other outside sources. They would go in depth if it was like it's top secret, because they really got to know who they're dealing with and make sure you're trustworthy.
Well, they're gonna have to start applying pressure to see how people act under pressure.
They have to.
And he's 61, so if he getting up to life, the lifespan is what, 82 or something?
82, yeah.
It's just a little 20-year bid.
Yeah, he's not going to make out of it. Like, but that's insane. Like, you're now putting, like I said, you're putting the risk, like the last time, you're putting the risk of our operatives' lives in danger at this point. Well, researchers over in the UK, they wanted to test out the defenses of the universities there. So they tested 50 universities. They decided to do an ethical hacking campaign. They did a phishing attack. And on their phishing attack, they found that they were successful with gathering financial information, personal data, also resource networks. The crazy thing about it was they were able to infiltrate most of these. They had a 100% success rate, actually, is what it was. And they were able to infiltrate in about 2 hours, with the least being 1. And they actually went back and some of the ones that they infiltrated before, they're able to get back in. So over in the UK...
Yeah, GDPR coming for you, man.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Well, I'm glad they went ahead and they conducted these tests, so then they can harden themselves, and then, they can prevent against this.
Yes, I hope they do that. But speaking of leaks, Microsoft had a leaked email chain reportedly describes, women's hellish workplace. Hellish is what they used in the article. It's not coming from me.
Okay.
I just like to say every woman I've met that's worked at Microsoft, they
Have had something.
they enjoy their jobs. They've
Right.
never said anything negative. I don't know if it's because they was on company time or, you
Or
know.
maybe it may be whatever department this is, that
Yeah.
whatever section it is.
Everywhere you go, you know, there's going to be politics. To what extent, you never know. But these emails, you know, they detail, like, you know, people getting lack of promotions, like unjust treatment towards people, especially people of underrepresented groups.
Oh, wow.
So I think that it's just messed up. Like, this over 150 people were on it. This is a company-wide email.
Okay.
They had a meeting, you know, their chief of people officer, she was just like, you know, if you experience any of this, come and see me personally. I don't know if anything is going to change, but it's just becoming like this constant thing, especially in tech.
You're right.
To be in a toxic workplace, especially for a woman. So it's really disappointing. Microsoft, and this is, you know, goes back to company policies. At the end of the day, be mindful of what you're saying in emails.
Yeah. Well, speaking of leaks, our favorite, well, apparently according to you, it's my favorite.
Gotta be a favorite. I don't.
My favorite company to go after. Facebook actually leaked. Well, they had exposed 540 million Facebook records. Wasn't through them that actually exposed it. It was data that was collected from apps that use Facebook to sign
through
up.
Them. Okay.
Well, it wasn't a direct leak, but they
a leak is a leak is a leak, because at the end of the day, when that breach happened, they will be held accountable.
Yes, they will, and they, you know, they haven't had haven't had a CISO in about 6 months, so who knows when they'll ever fix that. But it was exposed on two AWS servers. One was a Spanish-speaking online platform app that held the majority of the data. They found out that it contained Facebook likes, Facebook reactions, comments, some interactions that Facebook users would have. Mm-hmm. They actually reached out. It was found by a data research group, and they went out and they actually tried to contact the company. The company would not respond at all. They actually had to talk to a Bloomberg reporter who, once they started making their calls around, Facebook got wind of it and they called Amazon and had the server shut down. The second one was a app called At the Pool, and what they did was they had about the same information that was there. They found passwords, but the passwords were actually for them to log into their app and not actually Facebook password.
Okay.
Yeah, but by the time they could find out who owned it, it seemed like a parent company shut it down. So Facebook, once they found out about that they had it, they acted upon it to get it shut down on behalf of whoever that app company was.
So what it sounds like is basically, that single sign-on failed you. Like, okay. Oh. Yeah, I won't be doing any Facebook stories. And at the end of the day, vendor management, you are still liable for those risks if you allow this app to integrate into your software. But it is what it is. You don't have a Samsung, do you?
No, we our next favorite topic that we always talk about is how
you don't have Android.
Yeah, I don't have Android, so.
All right, Apple better be cutting that check. Samsung S10 fingerprint scanner hacked. This was an interesting article because I feel like it was just it was a bit extreme.
Okay.
So, Samsung, they're pushing this, their fingerprint scanner because it works off of like ultrasonic 3D stuff. Like they need a pulse and everything for you to get in the phone.
So we thought.
So a security researcher clearly had a lot of time. So he took his fingerprint off of like a wine glass and like 3D printed it onto a hand and used said 3D print hand to unlock his Samsung phone. So that's why they're calling it hack. Technically, the fingerprint scanner did its job.
But it reacts off a pulse though.
Allegedly,
it's supposed to react off a pulse.
It's supposed to, but I guess like they're just upset because they just did a 2D thing. Why people should you be concerned about this? It's not realistic, man. It's not realistic. If the average Joe, Joanna, buddy from the corner store steal your phone, He is not going to 3D print your fingerprint.
But it's still the possibility it's not working how they said that it's supposed to work to security specs. So it's not for the average Joe, but it still got cracked.
It's technically it's not that it's not working. It's just not working to the full extent that it's supposed to. It's not providing that full security. Unless they was like, out here promising people the world.
They kind of promised somebody the world.
Yeah. To me, it shouldn't be that serious. It shouldn't stop you from using the fingerprint scanner.
No, not at all.
At the end of the day, the feds got your fingerprints already, man. So, who are you really?
Okay, conspiracy theorists.
They do. Church announcements. My first church announcement is FRSecure. Their 2019 CISSP mentor program is it started Monday, April 8th. You're seeing this Wednesday. But basically, if you are trying to study for your CISSP, FRSecure offers 2 trainings on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. You can do it online, but they basically go through a CISSP book. The only thing you have to purchase is that CISSP book for yourself to study. But they basically do these study sessions through Monday, April 8th to May 29th. That's Mondays and Wednesdays. There's limited seats online, even though you're just seeing this Wednesday. So technically you missed 2 classes already. It still doesn't hurt. It's a good program. It's free, and it's for the free 99. So if you want more of like accountability, more substance for studying, definitely check it out. And my second church announcement is Tribe of Hackers Summit is going to be May 2nd in Austin, Texas. General admission is going to be $34.95. Not sure why such an odd number. But if you purchase the book, enjoy the book, they're doing the actual summit. So you might actually get to meet some of the people that are in the book. I went to B-Sides Orlando, and I got to see Marcus Carey and Ian Coldwater, and they actually signed their pages in the book. So, Tribe of Hackers Summit, May 2nd. That's a Saturday, I believe, Austin, Texas.
I still got to buy my Tribal Hackers book, so I'm good on it.
Technically, they have for the free 99, but if you would like to
support, yeah, of course.
What you waiting for? It's been a minute.
I know. I totally slipped my mind, but I got it.
You over here dripping for the gram. I know you can go ahead and just purchase the book.
It's coming. It'll be here next week.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. I'm Jay.
And I'm T.
And this has been Part of the Penetration.